Hi everyone, Jaini Jaline here. Today I'm going to be talking about relationships, something that has been on my mind, has been on many people's minds, is on many people's minds, because relationships are a very important thing, crucial thing for humans, and dealing with those, is an ongoing challenge. And when you are a podler like myself, when you're committed to podler and you see that there is this better way, and how do you bridge that gap as you relate with other humans out there in the world and look for, partners, look for potential mates. So that's been on my mind a lot. I'm just like everybody else. You go through periods of loneliness and longing, and you hope for someone who you can share your life with. But then there's podler, and that's what I do, and that's where my head is at all the time. So when I meet other people, it's about, so then how do you lead an authentic life? Because for everyone, it's really important to lead an authentic life that gives people, more energy and more sense of purpose in the real world. And for Jaini, for the peaking process, that's authenticity is a big part of it, because if you're not authentic about what you're about, what your personal values are about out here in the world, then when are you ever, then you're not actually really peaking in the real world out there. And so the goal is to, bridge that gap, or get someone into this world or this language, get someone immersed into that. But and how do you do that? So that's, as I've met people out there in the world, and I've gone through stages like where as I learn more about podler, about the language, then I'm able to communicate it better. And of course I'm in the practitioner program, so that with the vlogs and the leveling up, that helps keep me focused on progressing with the knowledge. And so as I progress, as I learn more, I can then be a better communicator, be a better teacher to anyone I come across in the world. And that has come through in how people receive this, the fact that I am into podler and what it's about, and and sharing it with them. And so I've seen people's interest increase, and as I'm able to communicate it better and teach it, but interest increasing to actually someone's like, oh yeah, I'm down with leveling up with you in podler, and and in the practitioner program, and being like the baddest Genii boss hero out there. There are steps in between there, and that's what I'm currently trying to navigate through those waters, to forge those relationships in an authentic way, and then find someone who I can be with, an inspirational other that would see this, because I believe, I know that this makes life so much more rich and beautiful and meaningful, and any inspirational relationship just benefits, like, can't even describe, can't even put value on how much this improves inspirational dance, because there's no current knowledge out there, no current model that can actually really show people, like in a natural law observation way. You can read it, you can learn how to read this these dynamics that are going on, what powers you have, what powers the other person have, recognizing an other in real form, and then knowing what they're doing at all times, like what their patterns mean, what these motifs that you're having together mean, and how do you level up together? How do you do this inspirational dance so that you're both like headed towards the highest form you can be? And this, so there's nothing out there besides Podler. Podler has the answer for that. So that, which is one of the many countless reasons that I've committed myself to becoming a Podler practitioner and learning about it and teaching others about it. So then how do you do that? And I'm going through the dating world right now, and dating, seeing someone, and that comes up, like how and like I'm authentic at this point. I'm authentic about right from the onset of before getting to know somebody. Hey, besides regular work that I do, really what I'm about is this research project called Podler, and this is what it's about, making the correlation between brain power and brain activities and the configurations that come from those two physiological manifestations. And I explained from the outset that that's what I'm about, and I believe it improves my life, and it improves anyone who is given the opportunity to learn this. So anyone who would be into me, want to be with me or see me, would have to be into it, would want to learn this, and because really what I would need, and there's nothing wrong with saying that because it's true, it's all about when you have a relationship, there are conditions, fidelity being a condition, I have a season pass to the Lakers and I go there every Saturday, and that's what I'm about, all these different conditions are put on relationships. And for me, that's having a partner that is into Podler and is leveling up, is a condition, because that's where my headspace is at all the time. And I want a partner who has this vision, this lens that allows them that empowers them to level up in a visible way, to quasi-death, constantly. That's, with me, so having lots of fun, but being like a metaphysical gym partner, like a mountain climber, that we're going together, and doing it. And that's like the sexiest, funnest thing ever for me. So like if the person isn't into that too, then that's great, that's perfect, that's synergy, and that's that's a match, that's compatible. So I'm authentic, and I say that on the onset, but then there's the dealing with progressing that relationship to move it in that direction, because there are a lot of relationships are kind of ruled by memes in a lot of instances. I think maybe like Nez Alpha or may have some more independent relationships from meme attachments, but for Jez Alpha and even Genez, a lot of it is the people, Jinai, will have these memes that they're attached to, that they've signed value to, and they live by. And these and these memes okay, boyfriend, girlfriend, what does that mean? And then you have the track of getting married and having kids and living with according to certain cultural teachings or philosophies or ways. It's most people, most jeunes will have that going into when you meet them. So so you're authentic, but then how in practice do we progress? And I guess for what I've seen so far is that you can't make someone be interested in it. Like, the person needs to be motivated on their own. And you can give them a vision, a dream. Like, you can give them, this is what I see could happen to you. These are this is the value added. This is what it could do for you and could do for us. And put that, present them that dream. But then that it's up to them to take that and take that dream and make it their own, and be inspired by it and motivated by it. So that part, needs to be there, for it to work. Also, I think that because people may be already they have busy schedules, they have a lot weighing on their mind with current world, so dealing with your normal routine that you've already established is already taxing as it is. When do I have time to learn any new lessons? Like, you're telling me I need to study now, that's how's that going to work? I don't even have time. I mean, but my thing is if the time that I'm spending with you is not just girl guy time, it's time to level up and grow. And so while we're together, you should be excited about learning stuff and having me share stuff with them and teach them, and they'd be learning. And it's if you're into that, then that's a sexy thing, that actually enhances the relationship. And then from the teachings that the person gets from Podler, that can actually, because it happened for me, it happened for other people that have learned Podler, is that you have all these things rattling in your brain that have been rattling in there and confusing you since you were born, things that are incongruous, don't make sense, paradoxes, the patterns that you've accumulated that are dysfunctional, that are not helping you out, that are not flowing with natural law. And when you learn this, you can learn to get rid of those incongruities. You remove those paradoxes, those incongruities. It clears your mind to, okay, this is what natural law is about, and I can see that, and when I act, enact in these certain ways, the patterns bear themselves out. So I see the benefit. I see that it's flowing, that I'm flowing better, that my interactions, that my life is more focused and in line with natural law. So it's smoother. I have more understanding of what I'm doing, and it helps me be successful in life. And so it gives a lot of clarity of mind. And so that actually gives one more energy for, frees up their mind energy that's been taken by all these this confusion, it clears your mind and gives you more independence of mind. So actually, it ends up giving you more energy to do your normal stuff, whether it be work, whether it be whatever daily routines you have established. So
You also mentioned
yeah.
about how with Podler it's really increased your artistic appreciation of just everything, and it's kind of like you go to a movie and you want to really geek out with someone, and particularly if it's a mate, if they don't get the jokes, if they aren't able to appreciate you, it's painful.
That's painful. Yeah, there's this, because when you're with someone and like you care about them and you want to share this like richness that you're seeing in everything that you encounter, and with things like pop culture, like I said, if you're watching a movie, if you're listening to music, if you're reading a book, if you're reading a magazine, there's just so much that I want to share with that person, because that's where my brain is like going a million miles an hour about all these different things and modes that I'm seeing, and what does it mean in terms of dynamics, and what is happening on, and what's going on, and what the story is that's ongoing, and how is it changing, and how that makes sense with the whole mass of people, and how that power of prediction, of like certain things happen with in a story, and that makes sense because they're such and such, just like those conversations are, if the other person doesn't have that language, then you can't share this, you can't communicate this, and it's painful. It's painful to have this gap there. It's like you're living in two different worlds while you're in the same room, and it's like the other person's like, well, we're watching a movie. I'm like, it's not just a movie. It's a movie with Nigel Brad Pitt and Gina Bradley Cooper, and they're interacting this way, and they have a romantic triangle with Nijai Amy Adams, and she's an Nijai, so she's actually inspirational with the Nigel Brad Pitt. But Bradley Cooper's in the story too, because there's like just so much that you can glean out of it, and so it makes it so much more interesting, and also levels you up while you're doing any sort of activity, including watching movies. So yeah, and there's a lot of just innate excitement and joy that I get out of just being in seeing this all the time, and so having a partner that wants to learn that and grow in that too is just crucial. Otherwise, it's not. It's just not. It's just not It's not a fit. Not a fit. So. Yeah. So I'm currently like navigating those waters, and and I want, like, sometimes, like, I think it can feel like a callous thing, or like that I'm being, that you're being cold by putting these stipulations in there that are other than like a person's heart, like how you feel about someone, as far as love. But every relationship has conditions to it, like you said before, and that's part of it. And this adds richness to my life experience, and that's what I want to share with a partner.
You talk to like a partner who's very interested in you.
Yeah.
But they're interested because
of
you look a certain way, you talk a certain way, or they just feel like, ooh, energy connection because of Inez. So, but that's not like, so special or important to you. Exactly,
because you can find an attractive Jaini that you can have an inspirational energy connection with anywhere. What what I'm about, like my energy that comes off of me, and in the way that it does is because of Podler, because of what I know with Podler, and the lens what I can see. And so I guess getting people to recognize that's what it is. And so if you're into me, it's because of the qualities that Podler gives me, or the knowledge, the know-how, how it helps me grow. And so if you're not cool with that, then you're not cool with me, like regardless of whether, you have great chemistry with the person, or, you find them attractive, you have certain, superficial meme things that you find appealing about them. It needs to be more than that. It needs to be a recognition.
You do what you were talking before when it was the fixes and the crashes.
Yeah, like, because there's no way around it. You have this energetic longing for your inspirational other. So and like I said before, most humans are in a state of hunger, because even people who are in relationships with their others, a lot of times they, for the most part, not every case, but they live sort of, they don't understand the inspirational dance. They're doing some sort of meme version of a coupling, and that leads to, in many cases, fragmented, compartmentalized lives. And so they're still not really getting the peaking that they need, because they don't know the dance, they're not doing it together. So there's this, they get fixed, like they get hungry, and their hunger builds up, and then it's like a drug, so you get a fix of the partner, but then you're like, because you don't know how to dance properly, so then there becomes a crash, like it goes to a point where it ends up crashing. So you go into the cycle of fixes and crashes and fixes and crashes, and
that's one of the dangerous about
healthy.
The other, because it's so powerful, is that if the fix is not like a pure fix, like what you're looking for, it's still so powerful and addictive, and it does temporarily give you a big lift.
Boost, yeah.
And it can be a pure boost if it's pure, but if it's not pure, then after the boost, there's like a bad hangover.
Yeah, it's a bad ride.
Bad ride. But it can be addictive because just that inspirational rush.
You just can't get anywhere else. I mean, you can do it in your head, but at some point,
it's not as
powerful as the
real world
focal point. Yeah. Mm-hmm. So yeah, just.
But this is very good that you've done this, because I think talking about it this has been a great session, and I think that your other really appreciates this, and it helps you really talk to it and honor that you're actually speaking about what you're going through, what you want in this way. It helps define it, helps because you say, you're like, yes, that is what I believe, and it's good to believe that.
Yeah.
And talking, because also too is that you have your recognition. So like for Jani Temple, being able to talk about what you want to other, talk about what happened last night, talk about what's coming up next week, it's very helpful to like empower your side of the story, to know how to, especially when the other partner may not know their part, you really got to know your part.
Yeah, and so that's another thing, like, being up to the task. It's this is very challenging to me, for me, because this means that I have to sort of be more in the driver's seat, like to be the pilot in relationship, in this way of teaching and guiding towards this knowledge and this way. But I'm a tower, so that requires me to be in the pilot role a lot, and the articulation role a lot, and be focused, about what it is that I'm transmitting and communicating and moving it forward, which are modulation for me, but part of my peaking cycle. So it's something that helps me grow because it is something that's coming from my Jai to my Ni to my Vai to my Z. So it's not something that will overmodulate me. I just have to.
If there's return on investment.
Yeah, if there's return on investment.
That's the compromise you're trying to. If
to
there will be that
achieve.
Return.
Yeah, exactly.
That's worth it. It's totally worth it.
It's totally worth it. Yeah.
If the return happens.
Is there? Yeah. So
This is great.
yeah.
I'll be talking about this more because this is
Yeah,
really
so I'll
wonderful to
talk
hear
about this more as it comes along because it's it's something that's on my mind as I'm going through it. So I think it would be helpful with for other people out there watching, other Jaini, and just people that are going through inspirational relationships and how they're dealing with it. Having the Podler knowledge, then how do you how does that integrate with romance and inspiration? So hope you find it helpful.
I did. Thank you very much.
You're welcome. And I will talk to you guys next time.